Hey guys, this is Yazuki Wolf, and we're on our way to enter the halls of Miyako Messe for BitSummit 2015, the largest Indies gaming event in Japan. So let's go inside and see what games they have in store for us. Okay, so I eventually decided to make this video primarily in Japanese, so the interviews that I took inside the convention hall were primarily in Japanese, with the exception of an interview with the creator of Crypt of a Necrodancer. So I'll show you the interview with Crypt of the Necrodancer as is, and then the other interviews I'll kind of just have my English commentary voiceover. So here you see Crypt of the Necrodancer, and they set up a dance pad for it, which was really cool. So instead of playing on a controller, which you usually can do if you download it from Steam, at the convention they had these dance pads that we played on, and I tried it out and I sucked utterly. I'm much better with the controller, but it was a really cool idea and got a lot of attention for it. So, 今Crypt of the Necrodancer のゲームデザイナーのRyan Clark さんと一緒にいますけども、Crypt of the Necrodancer についてちょっと簡単に説明させていただきたいと思いますけども、can you just give me a quick explanation about what Crypt of the Necrodancer is about?
Sure. Crypt of the Necrodancer is a dungeon crawling rhythm game. So it's a roguelike game where, you know, like other roguelikes, you're in a dungeon, you're fighting monsters, trying not to die, but this one, it's on the beat of the rhythm, so you have to move to the beat, and so do the enemies.
これは普通のダンジョンクローラーと同じように思います。
So I was trying to make a dungeon crawling game that feels fair, and I didn't intend to make a rhythm game, but I tried to make it fair by introducing skill by making you have quick, short turns. And short turns felt kind of like moving to a rhythm, and so I tried playing with Thriller by Michael Jackson and moving to the beat of that, and it was very fun. You can play it on with a keyboard or a controller or a dance pad, and you can have local co-op, and you can also play with your own MP3s. Last thing is it's available on Steam for PC, Mac, and Linux right now, and early next year it'll be on PlayStation 4 and Vita.
Is it in Japanese or is it just English?
Yeah, we're going to have a localized version on Steam in about a month, and then the PlayStation and Vita versions will be localized.
And I'm assuming if you already purchased the game, it will be get the localization for free. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alright, so this is another game that I saw that I just thought was really cool. It's called Enter the Gungeon. That's a Gungeon with a G. It's currently on, well, you can see the promo video on Steam. The actual game's not going to be coming out till 2016. They said that everything's pretty much ready. They just want to brush things up and make sure that the game is as good as possible on release, so they're going to wait till 2016 to release it. As you can see, it's got like your basic dungeon crawler elements mixed with twin stick shooter, and the kind of like concept of it is that you're in a dungeon that is composed completely of gun and gun-like elements. So all your enemies are bullets or other types of puns of guns. Like I played through the first stage, and you have a boss battle where you have an enemy who's not exactly a gun per se, but he's definitely kind of a pun about guns. So it has like a very good sense of humor all about the game. And it felt really good beating that boss because I saw a lot of other people play through and be killed by him. So when I got through, like, I felt pretty good about that. It like I was saying, the controls feel really good. Feels like what you'd expect of a twin stick shooter. But it also has really dynamic things going on as well. Like you could knock down tables and use them as cover. You could jump over pits. You could do dodge rolls and things to avoid enemy attacks. Also, the dungeons are randomly generated, and a lot of the items you get are also, well, probably all the items, I'm not sure, but the items you get are also randomized, so that every playthrough has a very different experience. You get very different items, very different effects that happen each time you play through. It's currently, like I said, the promotion video is on Steam. It's going to come out for PS4, PC, Mac, and Linux in 2016. And I played through it. I met the designer and just other people that were involved with the project, and they all were really enthusiastic about it. It seemed like a really good game, so I'm really looking forward to checking this out when it comes out in 2016. Alright, so now here's another game that I saw that was pretty interesting. This is really like your Japanese indie type of game. It seems like it's just a small project, but it looks to me like it has a lot of potential as like a sort of puzzle platformer. It's called Jump Gun, and it's many people look at it, they kind of think of Portal because you have like this gun that you use to to solve puzzles with, but the creator of the game, he actually hadn't heard of Portal until after he had made this game. A lot of people kind of just compared it to it, but it's got that sort of element where you have a gun, but you're not using the gun to kill enemies. You're using the gun in order to progress in the puzzle platformer. And the basic premise of this is that you, as a character, are not able to jump. You can only jump when you're shot by your gun. So you have to shoot your bullets into into mirrors, which then reflect that. Like I said, bullet, but I guess it's more like an energy ball. But that energy then comes back to you, and if it hits you, it makes you jump. And so it's just a matter of like puzzle. It has that puzzle element of trying to figure out how to shoot your gun in order to get yourself to jump in the right way to progress through the levels. I played through all the levels that they had. I'm assuming that those are all the levels in the game right now, so I don't know if it's. I think it's probably still in production. I don't think it's a finished game quite yet, but it definitely it's challenging but still intuitive, so that you kind of test it out, and it feels really good going through it. It definitely has that sort of like Portal type of element to it, where you kind of feel like where it kind of like challenges you to think, but it still feels intuitive enough where you're not like you're not raking your brain too hard over one particular puzzle. And it's very like, I guess tactile is the word I want to say, where like it is puzzle based, but it's not staring at a screen thinking for a long time. It's actually like just actually trying things out and seeing what happens, and kind of like going through that trial. So this is the next game. This is Dharma Soul, and I guess this is going to be releasing on iOS. I don't know if this is going to be releasing abroad or not. It may just be in Japan. I'm not positive, but this was a really cool like side. I guess you wouldn't say side-scrolling. I guess you'd say like top-scrolling action shooter game. Kind of reminiscence of like old arcade classics. But your character is this like ninja type guy who collects dharmas. See, there's a dharma on the bottom, and he collects that. And if you can actually tap that and like throw it as like a bomb. It's basically just there's a lot of interesting moves and things that you could do in the game, and they did a really good. I felt like they did a fairly good job of making that translate well to a mobile device. So it's going to be releasing on iOS in the spring, and his like sort of concept behind the game that he was talking about a second ago was he found that a lot of people who were playing shooting games, they found it very challenging to dodge the bullets, and so he was trying to kind of make a shooting game where it's not as important to dodge the bullets. Like your character has a hit point gauge, so you can still take a number of hits without dying, and it's more about just like killing your enemies in front of you as smoothly as possible. And I guess that was his concept behind that. And it sounds like only there were just two of them as well that made the game. Him and a programmer. And the programmer was at lunch when we were talking, but two people did it in about 2 years. It took them to make it, so pretty impressive. And I don't know. This is just my number 9. I'm sure you've all heard about the Kickstarter there. I didn't really get an interview or anything with that, but yeah, just in general, it was a pretty interesting convention. It's nice to see the Japanese indie scene starting to grow. Larger Japanese companies are trying to see the viability of the indie scene as well, which is encouraging. This is the 3rd BitSummit, and I'll be looking forward to going again next year. So, Thanks for joining me for the short commentary on the BitSummit 2015. Till next time, yoroshiku.